Benny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Zedos Game podcast. It's been quite a few weeks. We're in sunny May, where it's 6 degrees here, and yeah, it's we're out of lockdown, and we could be in lockdown again, depending on what happens. So
speak for yourself. I ain't left this house since March last year, so you know.
Some people have to work and do shit. I.e. me. I mean, I had to leave the house. There's a lot of things that have happened in the past year that was unavoidable. So not everyone can do that, and I'm not saying that everyone should do it, but films. That's what we're here to talk about. Okay, let's get actually no. Let's get the pleasantries out of the way. You cool, Neil?
I am very cool. Very cool.
Satch, you cool?
A little bit chilly. The fan's on a bit. I think I'll turn it down. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Let's get into the first one from there. Okay, so first of all, we have we're reviewing trailers. So we're starting off with Venom. Let There Be Carnage. This film is directed by Andy Serkis, and guys, I don't know about yourselves. What did you see the first one?
Yeah, I saw like both trailers.
No. Did you see the first film?
Yes, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I still have horrible nightmares of the first one.
Okay. Right. Having watched this trailer, it made me feel like, okay, this is for the general audience. This is not for hardcore Venom fans. It's funny. It's funny. I found it funny. I found the trailer funny, and I'm not sure if I was supposed to find it funny, but I thought, okay, sorry,
you were.
Yeah.
You're supposed to find it funny.
Watching Venom make Eddie Brock breakfast is something every Venom fan has always wanted to see since the dawn of time.
See, this is what I mean. This is
Yeah.
where, as soon as I saw, okay, he's making this is not for Venom fans. This is for the general audience.
That's just it. And you know, I think there's a bigger. We did a reaction video for this on Creative Control, and my points haven't changed since then. But the bottom line, short version of that, because I don't want to go too in depth, so we can move the podcast along, is that although I get that, you know, the first movie made bare money by people that don't really understand the character. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I know what Venom and Carnage are about. This is not for me. That opening gag really was not the character for me, and it took me out the whole thing. Whatever it was trying to sell me, I wasn't buying any of it. And I think for a lot of hardcore Venom fans that have been following the character since its conception, it's make or break on that opening gag. Again, Tom Hardy will do an excellent job, because despite me not liking the first movie, he was great as Eddie Brock. I did like the relationship between him and Symbiote in the first movie, but it's a shame it took a whole hour to get there. I was hoping this movie would build upon that, but you know, having the Symbiote do dumb shit in the shop and stuff, I was just like, no, this is bullshit. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I'm sure people will like this, and I'm sure it'll be a big hit. It's just not for me. It's just really not for me. And as much as I think that, what's his face?
Woody
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson would be a fantastic Carnage. You know, it really, you know, that should have been the selling point for the trailer, but you know, they just put him on up there and go, hey, he's in it, and then they move on. It's way too focused on Tom Hardy and Venom doing their shtick. I don't care. I really don't care. And to be quite honest, the fact it has Carnage, I should care. I should be like, oh my god, this is going to be sick. But like, yeah, whatever. But that's just me.
And what about you, Neil?
I second most of that emotion. No, I'll keep it as brief as I can. If you liked and enjoyed the first Venom, I would be very surprised if you didn't like and enjoy the sequel. If you did not like Venom, you will absolutely not like this one. Andy Serkis directing it ain't gonna save it. Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock, you know, Woody Harrelson playing Cletus. No, it's not going to. For me personally, right? I was a comic book reader when Venom arrived, and I'm well versed with the character, and many different iterations. I've seen him leave Eddie Brock and return to Eddie Brock. No, this is not for me. This is not for me at all.
Yeah, I mean, going on your sentiments of that, I never saw the first one, and so because it didn't make sense that as far as I'm concerned, Spider-Man and Venom are symbiotic, and so it didn't make sense to me without Spider-Man, but so I guess I'm not, because I haven't seen it, I don't have any insight into the all I can do is see what I saw in that trailer, and it was funny. And if they're going out for a comedy, have at it. But make it go full blown comedy. The fact that it's got nothing to do with the MCU is probably a good thing as well. So there's no.
They're trying to merge them.
I know. Good luck with that, Sony. If I mean, look, I don't know where this film's going. This is the first trailer. If the second trailer, there's another trailer on the way. If that, I at this moment in time, I don't plan to watch it, but I could be goaded into it because I do like Tom Hardy. If I was going back to cinema to have a drink and, you know, not take it seriously, and like every time someone says Venom or Venom says like a keyword, you have a shot. That's probably what I would do with the film, just to have fun with it. But at this point, yeah, I'm medium about it. I'm lukewarm. You're right there, Satch. You've disappeared.
No, I'm okay, man. I turned off my screen because I'm blowing my nose.
Oh, gotcha. You're blowing
your nose with the Venom 1 script.
Okay, now that we're done with Venom, we'll move on to, if I can find my notes, we move on to Fatherhood. Okay, so Fatherhood is a Paul Waltz film, and it stars Kevin Hart, Dwayne the Rock Johnson Hart, and I've got to say,
Kevin the Pebble Hart.
Kevin the Pebble Hart. I've not heard that one before.
So it's Dwayne the Rock.
Oh yeah, Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles. The film is called Benedetta. Benedetta, I think.
Hey, that's a different film.
That's a different film?
That's the next film coming up.
Excuse me. I have no poster for this. Sorry, guys. I have no poster for that. That's the next film. So, this film, Fatherhood, it's very Kevin. It's very Kevin. It's very him. I have no interest in it. I don't like any. I just don't like any of his films. No. Kevin Hart does not appeal to me. I have no problem against his work ethic. I think he's great at what he does. In terms of working, I don't particularly like his stand-up, and I don't like his films. So this clearly is not for me. What do you guys think?
I thought it was a good trailer. I think it actually showed more of a serious side to him. I know he did that with The Upside with Walter White. What's his name? Bryan Cranston in the remake of that film. But that's going in the same vein. Yeah, it's got a bit of comedy, but it's not funny ha-ha. It's more of a heartfelt kind of thing where he's taking his performance a little bit more seriously. I actually thought it was a good trailer. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I actually don't mind Kevin Hart. I will admit he's some trash films, but he's also done a few films which I have thoroughly enjoyed. And his chemistry with The Rock is fantastic in the films that they buddy up together. And to be quite honest, those are the films that I enjoy. So, of his filmography. So it'll be interesting to see him do a more serious take. I'm a fan, so yeah.
Neil?
I am very surprised that I'm going to say this, but I actually like the trailer. I mean, me, because the thing is, I guess I'm in a similar boat because I don't mind Kevin Hart. I'm I guess lukewarm on Kevin Hart. I don't dislike him. I don't like him. I very much respect his work ethic because I love just anybody who works hard at their craft.
Yeah,
I appreciate them for that. Like even if I don't enjoy that craft, unless your craft is freaking axe murdering, then like yeah, right. But he works hard, and his success is a byproduct of that. And I think that with this film, like I watched the trailer, I think he's brilliant if he's part of an ensemble cast. Right. So like him and The Rock as a duo, him in like the Think Like a Man films, like him as a part of a group is great. Like Jumanji, him and that group, it works well. Mm-hmm. Him by himself, I have not been like bowled over by anything that I've seen him in. Mm-hmm. But that said, I like this trailer because there are so many things that to digest in it. It's, the idea of a single father, especially in like this day and age where, like, not to get too political, but in this day and age, like the idea of a single black father is like, it's right up there with like, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
So, like the idea of we're going to see a whole film and it's an actual star, he's going to do it, and like, being in a house like being around children as I have been for like a number of years, it's seeing like certain things happen. It's funny, like seeing parents try and do things to entertain their children even though they absolutely positively don't want to do it. Like the moment where I think it's at the very end of the trailer where they're in like a scary fun house and a clown jumps out at him, he boxes the clown, and then he's like, the clown's fine, see? Like that, I did laugh out loud with that. So I'm like, yeah. I think there's, I think it's going to be a good film.
Okay.
I think it'll be a film that will, like The Upside, bring him to a newer audience.
Right.
Because it will show that, yes, he doesn't have to be slapstick to be, he can be heartwarming and funny.
Right, yeah. Again, I've seen him in interviews, and when I see him in interviews, I like him. I just he just doesn't. I think what it is that Eddie Murphy embodied all of these things in the 80s, and he did it better. And I see him. Do you know when someone comes around and tries to imitate that and doesn't have their own spin on it? I mean, people argue that Dave Chappelle did the same thing, but Dave Chappelle's his own monster.
Yeah.
And I just see Kevin Hart as like, what did Eddie Murphy do? He did this, and this. Okay, emulate that to the 10th degree, which is not a bad thing. But it's almost like a softer PG version of Eddie Murphy. I mean, Eddie Murphy's that version of himself now, anyway. So, can I complain? Yeah, I mean, if you guys like it, I'll give it. I may give it a chance, but if it's I don't.
I would say give it a chance. Period. Just because it's like, it's not going to be the atypical Kevin Hart vehicle, you know, and it would be nice to see him in something slightly different. And I think when you see actors that you're not really fond of do something completely out of their comfort zone, it's almost like it makes you appreciate their craft more. Because I mean, when I think about it, the film that sticks out at me is like, oh, what film that has Kevin Hart in did you like Kevin Hart in? And the first film that comes to mind is a weird one, is Grudge Match.
Yeah, great film.
Yeah, because he's in it, right? And it's just as one little piece of dialogue where I don't know if it was in the script, if it's improvised, but they go to like the UFC, they go to like an MMA place, and you know, both Robert De Niro and Stallone are like kind of grumbling about like, this isn't boxing, this isn't, you know, combat sport, this isn't how it should be. And you know, they're joking around and they're scoffing, they're like, the octagon, yeah, okay. And Kevin Hart just turns on him and he's like, look, you box in a square but you call it a ring. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like that simple thing of you're not trying to be the same face that is everywhere.
Well, I mean, as I said, I haven't in all honesty, I've not seen Jumanji, any of the Jumanji films, the new Jumanji films or the sequel to Jumanji. I haven't seen any of those films yet, so I guess I think I would like those films. So I'm gonna hold out till I watch those, and then I'll come back to you about Kevin Hart. But let's move on. And so the next film we are looking at is the one I just mentioned, Benedetta. This is a Paul Verhoeven film, and Paul Verhoeven.
It makes so much more sense.
Paul Verhoeven. So he's kind of gone back to his roots a little bit. Hard R, or in America 18 over here. This trailer reminds me of. Do you remember the opening to Tropic Thunder when they had all those mini trailers? And there's a trailer with Robert Downey Jr. and Tobey Maguire called Satan's Alley. And that's this film is that film in reverse. It's just with women.
What?
So and Merovingians in it. So expecting Neo to show up at some point, and all of that mixed in my mind. So I don't even care if this film is controversial. I just need to see it now because I just need to see if it hits every mark from Satan's Alley, and if it does, gold. You've won me over, Paul Verhoeven. What did you guys make of the trailer?
Straight up and down, I watched this trailer.
Yeah.
At first, before the trailer started, I genuinely was like, did they make a Bayonetta film and just spell it wrong? Really?
Yeah.
And then I watched the trailer and I was like, they definitely did not make a Bayonetta film and spell it wrong. But
you could be mistaken for it though.
But I was just like I was just like, this film is different.
Could have done
differently.
Is that your caption at the bottom of the poster? Neil says different.
That's it. The whole film. You have to have the whole sentence with the pause.
Yeah.
I was like, this film
is ... different.
Different.
Okay. Is that your general? Is it something that I know you wouldn't go to watch this in the cinema, but
I mean, listen, I've been deprived of a cinema for almost a full year. Like, I'm ready to watch anything. I'm ready to go. Listen, right? As much as I dog on it, I'm ready to go watch Venom 2 right now. But I like. It's not a film that I would like mark on my calendar to go and watch.
Benedetta comes out today, so
I'm like, if it was like, I went to the cinema, nothing else was out, or nothing else that I have not seen is out, and it's like, do you want to see this film? I'm sure I could be persuaded to go and see it, but hey, like,
yeah,
I think what makes it better and worse in regards to this film is whenever I think Paul Verhoeven, I say 3 films immediately come to mind. Right? Of all the films he's ever done, just 3 stand out. RoboCop, Starship Troopers, and Showgirls. Right? Those are
What?
Obviously, like,
he's memeing. He's memeing us, man. He's trolling us.
I know, like, obviously, there's Total Recall, and I know that there's a
Get your ass to Mars,
right? But I genuinely, those are the 3 films that stand out because I'm like, copious amounts of blood and guts.
Yeah.
That is the first 2 films I mentioned. Nudity. That is the last 2 films I mentioned. I'm like, this man is like, I'm old. He's like I've got my bucket list of things that have to go into my films, and he's like, as long as I get 2 in, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of him making a film, because I know obviously before he came to America to do RoboCop, he was like quite prolific in Holland, but I'm like, you did Showgirls. You sat in your director's chair, arse naked, to film the shower scene in Starship Troopers, and you made a film about lesbians in a monastery. Like, things are gonna take place in that film.
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying that Paul Verhoeven is a bit risque, he very much is, and we love him for it.
Yes, we do love him for it, but at the same time, I'm like, he is not the filmmaker that you will like, I'm gonna watch this film with my mom.
Yeah, that would be a mistake.
Verhoeven is not your guy.
That would be a mistake. Yeah. So, Sach, what do you make of this trailer?
Yeah, it was okay. I'll check it out. That's about it. Like, it didn't make me go, oh my god. It didn't make me go, oh shit. The minute I saw it was about nuns, I was like, well, this ain't in vain of RoboCop, Total Recall, and Starship Troopers. But yeah, okay. I'll give it a go. Mainly because he's a great director and he's someone I've always wanted to see back doing shit. It's a shame that we'll never get like big Hollywood affairs by the guy because he'll never dilute his art to 12A, which is why I love him. And we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Okay, next on the list, Cruella. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys talk because I have no interest in Cruella. I watched the trailer. I didn't like the character in the 101 Dalmatians. I didn't like her in the live action 101 Dalmatians. I liked the actress playing her, but she's not a character that I wanted to have more insight in. And so I'm not gonna. My review on this trailer is gonna be quite biased because I don't care. So what did you guys make of it?
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. If this film doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. That's what I think about this trailer. This trailer sucked. I mean, come on, man. Like, for crying out loud, okay? Maleficent, you know what? I know why Maleficent got a sequel, but the sequel didn't make that much. You know what I mean? Compared to the first, it bombed. So here's the thing. Why do we have to keep going to this? Like, I remember when they first said they were making a movie about Maleficent with Angelina Jolie, and I was like, wow, that's spot on casting, and wow, that could be amazing because we're seeing it from the evil person's point of view, get a bit more depth from the character, and show the tale from another point of view. That sounds really interesting. That does sound like a really interesting concept, and then you go see it, and then you see that it's a man-hating kind of film where men are useless and are responsible for why she's evil and shit, and blame the man. And then it's kind of like this bad guy is actually a good guy in disguise, and it was like, hang on, wait, that's not the story of fucking Sleeping Beauty. And that's exactly what we got here. How can you make Cruella de Vil a protagonist? She skins Dalmatians, for Christ's sake. She literally is not a dog lover. She kills them. She murders them. I mean, if John Wick had his way with her, she'd be gone, okay? So, like, come on, man. How can you empathize? Like, here's the thing, okay? The Glenn Close ones, the 101 Dalmatians, they were great. Why? Because there are 101 Dalmatians, 102 Dalmatians. She played the role as a bad guy, and perfectly, I might add. Glenn Close was amazing in those two films, and wants to do a third one, funnily enough. She said so recently. But, like, this whole, like, taking a bad guy and making him good, it's like you can't do that with a puppy killer. You can't. It's dumb. It's freaking dumb. Anyone that says this is a good film, I'm just gonna be like, so you like people killing dogs? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about this film. It's like, quite literally, even the trailer sucked. It just screamed of studio checklist, checklist stuff, and fuck it, it's a product of the Me Too movement, and it screams of it. It just screams of it, man. I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. You're going to go in there, and every male in the audience is just going to sit there and just be like, wow, men are stupid. God, we are so dumb. Fuck. It's just, oh, man. I predict the outcome of this movie. Look, here's the thing. There's no bad thing to say about Emma Stone. She's a fantastic actress, and she's better than this. But anyway, that's my rant over. So yeah.
I mean, when that Disney check comes in, I think, yeah, I'll do anything for a dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it is what it is. Again, though, it's a job. I'm sure she got paid handsomely for it, and so good luck to her. Nia, what did you make of it?
So, I mean, 101 Dalmatians was probably the Disney film that I never cared about.
Yeah.
Like, and this is like way back when, you know, like the old school Disney VHS with the yellow spine, you know, with that hard Disney music, right? That I'm not going to imitate right now, but you know what I'm talking about. It's got
I know exactly what you're talking about, dude.
It's got Mickey Mouse in his little
Sorcerer's Apprentice arms, and then
right, and it's almost like he's clicked his fingers, and the Walt Disney logo rolls out in red. That was the heavy times of Disney, right? That was like the LA Lakers under Phil Jackson, or the Chicago Bulls under Phil Jackson of Disney. And, yeah, right. But I watched your Sleeping Beauties, your Alice in Wonderland, you know, Sword in the Stone, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. There wasn't more, right? You're a child, you watch Disney, boom, done.
Yeah.
And 101 Dalmatians, and I was just like, I just don't care.
Yeah. I mean, that's my sentiment exactly. Yeah. I don't really see why this needed to be done, but have at it. Disney need to make their money, so.
But I think the one issue I mean, this is a product of a wider issue for me personally. It's like, I remember within the last 6 years, right? I remember walking through a bookstore and seeing this collection of Disney books. And they were the classic stories, but they were told from the villain's point of view. Right. So it like Snow White told from the stepmother's point of view, and it was, Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty told it, and it was like these tales were told via the villain, right? And I saw them and I thought, oh, that's actually a pretty good idea, And I thought, because of the way things are now, like a lot of Disney heads are, and I mean that when I say Disney heads, I mean Disney fans, not people who work for Disney, right? But a lot of these Disney heads who are, a lot of these, I'm generalizing, but a lot of these female Disney heads are, they're quite fans of this, like, let me see it from the evil queen's version, let me see it from the wicked stepsisters thing. The problem is, for me at least, I'm getting tired of seeing sympathetic villains, right? Like, regardless of my comic book nerd feelings towards the film The Joker, it's a brilliant film, but I'm like, for everyone who's like, it's a great film, it's like the Joker's not a bad guy, he's just suffering with mental health. I'm like, listen, right? The Joker, I remember, has done some serious shit, right? He is not a guy that you can just pat on the back and be like, oh, it's not your fault. Society made you this way. No, like,
that's one of the best things about the Christopher Nolan and the Batman the animated take on the Joker. There is no origin story.
Yeah,
he's a pathological liar. And you know what I mean? Like that's one of the greatest things about the Dark Knight. He's the shark from Jaws, man. He's quite literally a force to be reckoned with. He's just evil,
but
he's just an evil. Yeah. He's just an evil fucking dude. And it's kind of like this. Christopher Nolan said this, okay, because quite frankly, he didn't like the backstory to Darth Vader, even though I like the story to Darth Vader, but he did have a point. You got to understand, pre episodes 1, 2, and 3, you know what I mean? Darth Vader was the baddest guy in the galaxy. And then you watch those prequels, and then you're like, you see Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones, and a lot of people are like, no, he's not a whiny guy. But you know what?
I mean, you don't become evil overnight.
Oh yeah, totally. But that being said, you got to understand the way he was in Attack of the Clones, he was a whiny guy, and it took a lot out of the character of Darth Vader for being portrayed by that. But the thing is, those things had to have, in the defense of that character, those things had to have happened. They make sense to happen. Could they have been directed better? Sure, they could have. Could they have been scripted better? Sure, they could have. But at the same time, Christopher Nolan had a point. You know what I mean? Because he felt very much a certain way about those films that it took away from what the menace was of what Darth Vader was, if that makes sense. Because now we're seeing under the curtain, to so to speak. So bear in mind, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I like what Lucas did with, I like the idea of the prequels. Like, I won't say that they were totally perfect, because I totally get their criticisms. However, I do get why Lucas was attracted to telling that story, and I do like the story of it, if that makes sense. I think the execution could have been better, but now I've gone into a tangent into something else. But you get what I'm trying to say, though. There, once you have something personified as evil, it's like shit. It's an unmovable force. It's like, what the fuck? It's the threat level is increased because we don't. It's that fear of the unknown, so to speak.
Like, you know what it is?
Yeah.
For me, it's like the perfect villain ever created is a xenomorph from Alien, right? And the reason I give it to is this: that thing is just pure darkness. right? In every way that you can imagine darkness, it's just pure darkness. It is literally black and just blends into the darkness. It has no eyes. It's got no discernible features that let you know it's looking at you.
You can't reason with it. You can't even begin to reason with it.
Reason with it. You can't look at it and think, maybe this thing will leave me alone. It's just pure terror, right? And I like villains to be just pure terror. I like, in certain cases, prime example being Darth Vader. Sometimes, yeah, you do want to know how this person got to this point, because, you know, look, everyone was gonna wonder how Darth Vader became Darth Vader from the moment you heard those words, "No, I am your father." Right? So it was like that sentence put that in motion. I never needed a Joker origin story, right? I don't need an origin story for Cruella de Vil. I'm sure there are many people who will enjoy it, but I'm like, when I think about Disney's villains rogues gallery, you know who pops up for me? As in, like, I want to see. I'd watch a movie about you, Ursula, from Little Mermaid. Right? Hades from her.
Captain Hook.
Right? Captain Hook. Well, I wouldn't mind it, but it wouldn't be like, yeah, they're making a Captain Hook film. I'm in.
You know what? With Captain Hook, just throw him in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Just done.
There you go.
Two birds with one stone, bro.
But yeah, and you know what? You know, probably the crown of the team probably be somebody like Jafar.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, Disney has probably the biggest rogues gallery outside of comic books. And I'm like, you can choose many a villain. But I feel like they just chose Cruella de Vil because it's like, I feel like merchandising or merchandise or the possibility of marketability is why we have Cruella a movie. I don't think anybody sat down and was like knocking on the boss's door like, listen, I really want to make a movie about Cruella de Vil. I don't think that was the case, right? I think it was genuinely like, it was a meeting, maybe it was a slow day, but it was a meeting and they were like, Cruella. You know, we can get people will rock their hairstyle. Well, you know, women will rock the hairstyle, and by setting it the way that they have and where they've set it and having, you know, her do the job, they're going to get a lot of fashion people to get interested because of the outfits, and people who love like the swinging 60s, they're going to love it for that. So they've picked and chose moments that they want to combine to make this. Like, I feel like they had the ideas for, we want a stylish character, we want to set it in a stylish period of time, and Cruella probably just fit the bill better than any other character that they had.
Yeah. Well, again, we spent longer than I expected to, but and Satch had more to say about than I expected to. Very uninspired character choice to make a film of, but it probably do well, depending if they put it on Disney Plus and cinema on release, because that's worked out for Disney so far.
You know what? Like, before we go, Disney, you know what I want you to do? Make my live action Sword in the Stone.
Do you really want them to touch that?
Yeah, I do.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Stone, right?
That's going to be Me Too, man. I'm pretty sure if people look back at it.
Delete the squirrel bit, but you make my live action Sword in the Stone, right? I ain't even mad, right? You could, like, if they did it 5 years ago, Tom Holland is Arthur, right? Maybe you get somebody the equivalent of, because I know he's getting on a bit now. Get somebody who's the equivalent of, like, maybe, Ian McKellen to be, Merlin.
Just get Ian McKellen. Don't get an equivalent. If you're doing it, just get him. Disney got the money; they could get him.
Yeah, you get, because they're the only, and all the perfect casting. I'm like, as long as you get a real comic genius to play Archimedes the Owl, and you get like maybe
David Jason.
Yeah, I imagine they choose Rebel Wilson, but I'd probably prefer Melissa McCarthy to play
the witch.
Nim, right?
Yeah, Nim. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, you do that, mwah, chef's kiss, man. Get that film rolling.
Okay, well, that's getting clipped. That's you'll see that up. You'll see your whole thing being put up.
I think that was more a creative control than a Zedos gang, but you should get that clip and give it to Ken and go, "Hey, we got your content."
Well, we go. You kind of threw me off with that. Okay, no, that's cool. Okay, so Shang-Chi. This trailer came out a few weeks ago, but it's still worth talking about, or is it? For me, this trailer was very bland, very 1990s kung fu action. I can't say I've been impressed by anything I saw in it. Even the actor seems very
bland.
Yeah, and that's no offense to him. I don't know him. I don't know if this is how he normally acts, or if the director made him act this way. But there was nothing remarkable about it. The trailer, it looks quite corny, in fact. That's my 2 cents. If they have yet to impress me with it, I'm pretty sure it's not a bad film, but doesn't look like China wants it either. So that it's not boding well for this film. But what did you guys think?
Well, for me, I'm actually a big fan of Simi Lee. I don't know how to pronounce. John from Kim's Convenience. Okay, that's where I know him from. He's the son of Kim's Convenience. Fantastic show if you've not seen it. He's great in that show. He has real sense of comic timing, and the trailer did not show off any of his acting, any of his ability to do anything, to be honest. My biggest problem wasn't him per se, but to be honest, okay, here's the thing. I'm sure it's an okay trailer if you're an MCU fan, okay, that doesn't really know the character and stuff. And even if you are an MCU fan that does know the character, it might just pass. But the fact is, they're trying to do the MCU's first Kung Fu movie, okay? And, you got to understand, Kung Fu movies has a particular kind of audience, okay? And Kung Fu movie fans expect a lot more than what we got there, all right? And you know what? I even think action movie fans expect a hell of a lot more, because you got to understand, Hollywood movies, in 20 years, we had the Matrix trilogy show us what real Kung Fu is for a Western audience, and that was 20 years ago. The Wachowskis came down, they got what's his name? Yuen Wu-Ping to do all the choreography for that movie. How we've had films like Kill Bill, and more recently, John Wick trilogy. You know what I mean? Automatically and Extraction last year. Extraction was fantastic in terms of action. Now, we just want a Kung Fu movie. Okay, we just want a Kung Fu movie, and if anything, you got to show us some Kung Fu in the teaser trailer. You know what I mean? In the teaser trailer, yeah, okay, there was Kung Fu in there, but it was nothing that made anybody that was a martial arts fan go, oh my God, that's amazing. We just saw shit that anyone could do in the CW shows, and that's the problem. We don't want diluted choreography. We want hardcore martial arts. I mean, look, The Raid, okay, the martial arts movie, The Raid, currently, in my opinion, is the greatest action movie in the past 10 years. Okay, and that came out 8 years ago. Okay, Raid 1 and Raid 2, but Raid 1 specifically. Okay, now the introduction to that movie, watch that trailer, and that's an IP where nobody knows what it is. You watch that trailer, you're automatically in. You're like, fuck, I don't know what this movie is. I need to see this. And that's what we needed from Shang-Chi. We wanted to see Marvel just not throw their Marvel Studios banner going, look at our big dicks, going, look, we're Marvel, you're seeing this regardless. No, we need something to blow us out the water to go, holy shit, what did I just see? I need to see this tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, that's what any martial arts fan, and trust me, you win the martial arts fans, you know what I mean? You win the Kung Fu movie fans' hearts, you'll get people in their drones for the first 2 weeks of release, guaranteed, because it's a tight-knit audience. And I know what I'm talking about because, you know, I personally used to work in a movie theater. When The Raid came in, 2 weeks, same group of people watching that film over and over and over. You know what I mean? Onk Back with Tony Jaa, same thing. You know what I mean? It's like a club. When you watch a martial arts film in a cinema, it's like a club. You know what I mean? We all going to see this. We know the cinema is the only place to see this. We need to see that shit right now and get our fix. And this trailer, and I'm going a bit harsh, and I totally am aware of that. I'm a huge Marvel fan, but you know, as a martial arts fan and as a martial arts movie fan, it wasn't good. And you know what the biggest insult was? The very end of the movie, the stunt with the bus. Okay, the bus stunt. Okay, one blue screen to hell, which is a cardinal sin in martial arts movies because we want to see realism in our fights. And before anyone says, "Oh, but he's doing that stunt on a bus," and blah blah blah, well, guess what? Jackie Chan fucking did that exact same stunt for real. Okay, in one of his old kung fu movies. I can't remember whether it was.
Police Story.
The Bronx.
Police Story.
Or Police Story, but. He did it for real. There was no blue screen, and he did that like 30 years ago, okay? And you're telling me they can't do that for real now? Before anyone says, oh, but he's not on that level of martial arts, then don't do it. Give me something different. Don't give me green screen bullshit that's going to take me out of the movie. I want to see some hardcore martial arts shit. You know what I mean? And that's my rant over on that. But do I think it'll be a good movie? I think, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll still give it a go. Hopefully it's a good movie because Marvel know their characters back to front. But you've got to understand the fight scenes will be heavily criticized kind of thing by everyone that's really into this genre. And considering this is a genre that Marvel have set out to go, we want to make that genre popular again, well, you better have the big guns out because, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Anyway.
Well, Neil, have you got anything to add to that?
I wasn't greatly impressed with the trailer. I say this, and I hope I know people are gonna get offended because that's the world we live in. I was unfortunately more interested in the Iron Fist trailer than I was in this. I'm not saying that to disrespect nobody, but when I watched the Iron Fist trailer, I was like, well, damn, okay, I'm intrigued. I'll see what you'll do with this. With the Shang-Chi, I was not feeling it the same way. There were issues. I had issues with the trailer. One of the issues I had with the trailer was, you know, I mean, the number one issue was just, yes, no martial arts films, because I'm like Sash, I grew up on some serious martial arts films. I'm talking, you know, the Jackie Chan films. I'm talking Burning Paradise. I'm talking Legend of Fong Sayuk. I'm talking about Tai Chi Master, right? Iron Monkey. I grew up on real kung fu movies. And I'm like, that's hard work. And also, like Sash has pointed out, we live in a post-raid world, right? There are films that set the bar in certain aspects or certain genres, right? Doing a sci-fi action film changed completely after The Matrix came out, right? You couldn't coast after The Matrix came out, because that film was like, no, this is what people look like when they do it for real, right? The action movie, I would say the action movie changed when the Bourne Identity came out.
Yeah.
Right? You
For
couldn't
the better
coast,
and the worse there.
right? For the better and the worst, but you couldn't coast after that, right? You know, before you know, the perfect way to look at it is before Bourne, James Bond was a regular dude. Who just had a little bit of skill and a lot of gadgets, right? After Bourne, his first movie, he didn't have shit but a tracker and a defibrillator, right? They, you know, it was like action movies became something, and the shift came again with, well, the shift for martial arts came again with the Raid, because the Raid, if you have not seen the Raid, you genuinely have missed out. Like, there are films that everyone must see, you know, and we know those films, you know, those films get listed over and over and over again. They say, oh, Jurassic Park, or The Goonies, or Indiana Jones, or The Matrix, or The Godfather. There's a gone forever of films that you need to see, right? If you like action movies, you need to see The Raid. You need to see it, right? Because it will change the way you think about action movies. And in a post-Raid world, when you have the mega power of Disney behind you, you're the MCU, you essentially, you have a better record than The Undertaker, right? Your film record is stronger than The Undertaker's WrestleMania record. Like, you made Wakanda real. You made Asgard real. You can put things out when you really put the work in. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you could have hired Tony Jaa. You could have hired anyone from the Raid. Hell, why? Like, you could have, you're Disney. You got the money. You could have hired Jackie Chan. You could have pulled out all the stops for that. You could have been like, look, we'll give you whatever you want. You don't want money? Look, you want us to build a hospital? How about we build 2? You could have done whatever you needed to do to get these people in. That would have essentially legitimized your movie. You could have used him the way you used Robert Redford in Winter Soldier. But you chose what you chose, and you made your decisions, and I'm sure that you have people far more intelligent than I am making those decisions. But man, oh man, that trailer, it was uninspiring.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. And I would say what the other problem probably is that well, one of the inner secrets for when I was working for Creative Partnership, well, maybe I shouldn't mention this. I worked for a post-production company, and we did a lot of trailers for Disney, and they were quite. It has to be this way, and that's that. And there's no hard line. It has to be this way. And with other trailers that came in, a lot of the editors had quite a free reign on how it should feel, and yeah, that's what all manners. Yeah, so I think that there might be 2 problems here. One, either the film's bad or the trailer is constructed badly. And
trailer. Like, sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna go on a limb. I think it's more the trailer. There will be issues with the martial arts. There will be issues with that. But if you're not a martial arts fan, it's very hard to make a martial arts movie. It's very, very hard. I mean, one of the moves he does in the film where he does like a double kick.
You've gone, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
One of the moves he does in the film, like, he does some double kick where he kicks 2 guys, and I'm like, I've literally seen Spiderman do that move. Like, it's not special. It's you know,
yeah,
it's not a move. It's just like
Yeah, I hear you.
Sure that, but I genuinely think the film will be good. I think the film will be good, or it will have a very good story. Right.
Yeah.
I am worried about one thing with the film though.
Oh yeah.
And it ain't the martial arts. The film is about the 10 rings. Or it's about Shang-Chi and the 10 rings.
So you're worried about what the Mandarin will look like?
No. Okay. I'm not even worried about what the Mandarin will look like. What I'm worried about is Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2.
I see where you're going with this.
10 rings, right? Even in Iron Man 3 is prevalent, right? But we've been established with 10 rings. Now, because of how when Iron Man 1 and even Iron Man 2 came out, and even to a degree Iron Man 3, the 10 rings are clearly established as a very brutal force. Since Iron Man 3, or since Avengers leading into Iron Man 3 going forward, Marvel has eased back on the brutality of violence or the brutality of a terrorist group and organization. And I'm like, you know, we are neck deep into, for lack of a better term, the family-friendly MCU. How do you establish the 10 rings with knowledge of this is the group that kidnapped, you know, Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. This is, you know, the group that sold, you know, Ivan Vanko his, you know, the blueprints to get him, you know, to go try kill Tony Stark. This is the group that was, you know, headed by the Mandarin. This is the group that, you know, told, what's his name? Trevor Slatt, that listen, the Mandarin's upset with you, bro. You might not make it.
Yeah, that was Trevor the Ben Kingsley. Yeah.
So I'm worried about that more than anything.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, the only reason why I have faith in the film is because Kevin Feige has mapped this out. If he's greenlit it, it's either going to be on the like what the first Ant-Man was like, you know, kind of it's good, or it's going to be fucking amazing. So I'm leaning more to it's good, and so we'll see. I'm going to move it on because we talked about it for a while. And from one martial arts film to another, Snake Eyes. Henry Golding is Snake Eyes apparently, and so again, this film for me, the trailer for me suffers from the same thing that Shang-Chi does, and it's all very cliched. I've seen it all before. I didn't like any of the other G.I. Joe films. Yeah, this is quite a hard sell for me. It didn't show me anything that's screaming, get to the cinema and watch this. Very paint by numbers trailer, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just I'm fairly I'm an older gentleman. I'm a little bit more cynical. So for me, it didn't do much. It didn't do much for me. In terms of the combat, again, has the same problem. The actor looks the part though. There's more in that actor than I would say the actor that was portraying Shang-Chi. So he just has to look. I'm sorry that's not Ray Park either, but you can't get everything in life. But, so yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I'm sure it'll be all this film has to do is be better than any of the G.I. Joe films, and it's fine. And yeah, that's it. What did you guys think?
Well, Henry Golding's a fantastic actor. Check him in The Gentleman, which is my favorite movie of last year, and various other stuff. But he's not Snake Eyes. He's not Snake Eyes. They've race swapped him to be Oriental because he's a ninja. You know, what? Last time I checked, Snake Eyes without the mask is blonde and blue eyes. He's an American. The other thing I noticed about Snake Eyes is he never takes his helmet off. You know what I mean? You probably get it the one time when you discover he's actually a white guy. You know what I mean? And because he was brought into, he's an American that lived over there or something. I'm not entirely unsure of the specifics, but I own the toy, and you know what I mean? Like, I remember him in the cartoon. And most importantly, he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak at all. So it just kind of confuses me. I get why they've done it. I totally understand why they've done those decisions. But you've taken a character that famously doesn't speak and have him talking all the time. I know they've taken creative license from that, because there was like a making of at the end of the trailer I watched, and they were talking about how they've taken the specific origin from the comic, and they've decided to give creative license to it, to how he loses his speech in this movie. And I'm like, great, grown, okay, because he was always the cool. If there's anything about G.I. Joe, whether you know the IP or not, he was always the cool one, because he doesn't say a fucking thing. He gets shit done. You know what I mean? He's an assassin. The trailer was very lukewarm. The hardcore G.I. Joe fans are like, I don't know. And I'm not even a hardcore G.I. Joe fan. I'm someone that grew up in the 80s that knows who the character is and really doesn't care about this movie, to be fair. But even I, on that basic level, know that, wow, you guys have fucked it for the fans. You know what I mean? That the core fan base that actually want to see a decent G.I. Joe movie. But I guess to the average normal person, this is straight up the alley. Unlike Venom,
Satan's alley.
Yeah, unlike Venom, I totally get why people like Venom, because you have star power there in Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is an A-list actor. Henry Golding's an upcoming actor. He's not a Paul just yet. You know what I mean? When people saw The Gentleman, they didn't see it for Henry Golding. When people saw, you know what I mean, all the other films, they never see it for Henry Golding. He's one of those guys that are on the cusp of becoming the A-list. You know what I mean? So general audiences are going on the G.I. Joe name, really. In which case I say, why the fuck didn't you stay with Ray Park? Ray Park was perfect. You know what I mean? Despite how bad those movies were, he was perfect as the character. Fair enough, he's not the greatest actor, but for Snake Eyes, he doesn't talk anyway. And I'm not even getting butthurt because it's not Ray Park. You know, fair enough. But I just see another character where they don't really know what they've got, and they're changing it to make it fit, a certain narrative, and you're not getting the hardcore fans off the IP that love it in the first place. You've lost them completely. And considering this is the start of a reboot where they're trying to do the characters first and then do a G.I. Joe movie, which is a smart way. That's probably a really smart way about going about it, I think, because those first two G.I. Joe movies ain't that great. You want to go with your big guns here with Snake Eyes, and they've failed to do that. Because the trailer, like you said, Joe, didn't wow me on the very basic premise that it's a martial arts movie. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to reiterate my points on what I said with the previous movie. Yeah, the previous movie. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Just one more thing to add to that. I just, again, the trailers like Matrix and the Matrix Reloaded, when they display their martial arts, it all looks amazing. And you want to go and see it. With it's a bit unfair to compare the two trailers, but it's one of the trailers that it has martial arts in it, and that's why I went to see it.
It's the closest thing that the West has ever got to a martial arts movie, and that's why when you think of Western martial arts movies, you think of that, and you think of Kill Bill, and then if you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, you're thinking Ninja Assassin, which again had good martial arts. You know what I mean? I remember the Ninja Assassin trailer come out, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see that. You know what I mean? That's going to be sick. But like, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the trailer made it out to be. But do you know what I mean? At least it had more in there than I'm getting at both of these trailers. So
the way it was this, what's the word I'm looking for? Presented on screen. it was very different to any film trailer I've seen martial arts being portrayed. I'm talking about the Matrix trailers, and with again just with Snake Eyes and Shang-Chi, it's very formulaic. There's no wow factor. There's no build up to seeing any amazing martial arts. It's just here's a scene of a guy doing martial arts. Here's another scene of a guy doing martial arts, and so on and so on. And come and see our movie, yeah. And that's it. There's no give. There's no real reason. There's no wow factor. And again, I don't want to waste too much more time talking about this, but I very uninspiring. Neil, what did you make?
It's not great. I know who G.I. Joe are. I had maybe one or two G.I. Joe toys. I never watched the cartoon. I watched the films. I didn't think they were the worst things I've ever seen. The second one's better than the first one. The first one is not horrible. It's just not great. But this film, this Snake Eyes film, I knew that Snake Eyes did not talk, and I knew that he never moves his helmet, which made me think of one thing, that this film, even though it will probably be substantially better, this film is essentially Stallone's Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's it.
Maybe. I mean, who's directing? Let me see who's directing this.
It's the director of Red and R.I.P.D. Robert Shang. Yeah.
Oof. Well, I'm guessing he's German or Swiss, but
yeah. I mean, he could do. Look, Red was a decent movie. R.I.P.D. on the other hand really wasn't. I think he did Flight Plan as well. Wasn't that horror movie with Cillian Murphy? No, it's the Jodie Foster film. Okay, I never saw that. But yeah,
Red Eye is the one with Cillian Murphy.
That's it, Red Eye. Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, could go either way.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving on. The next trailer and the final trailer is Ice Road with Liam Neeson. I'll let you guys start with this one. What did you guys make of it?
I was happy to see fish burn. Other than that, I'm not interested.
Jonathan, this film's directed by Jonathan Hensley. I think that's right. It's again, paint by numbers. Liam Neeson film. I'm guessing it's just it's a paycheck for him. It's it's going to be on net as soon as it. This is the thing about Netflix. When films come out on Netflix, they do a campaign for a day and disappears into the ether, and it's a problem with a lot of their films. They're there, then they're not, and
they don't. They've started to do better now. They've started to let you know when certain things are going to be deleted, but they've actually now rejigged their interface.
Oh, their interface. Yeah. Okay.
They've rejigged their interface, so now you can see when new stuff is out, more prominently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they have. Just like when the film has a premiere, have a banner saying premiere. I mean, Amazon do it. So this.
No, Netflix do that.
Oh, they do it. Okay.
They do that.
Not having Netflix, I'm not versed with how it looks, but
they do. They've been doing that for a while. I think all the streaming sites do it, but Netflix have been doing it pretty much since they first started. No, actually, not since they first started, but for a while now. They even have a top 10 of the week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Jonathan Hensley, funnily enough, he did the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, and he did one of my favorite rock movies, Welcome to the Jungle. Look, based on that,
when you say rock, you mean the actor of the Rock?
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. what was I going to say? Yeah, he can handle action, and they're both two very good movies that I do enjoy. The trailer, yeah, run-of-the-mill Liam Neeson movie. I like Liam Neeson. I'm most likely to go watch this regardless because I generally like seeing Liam Neeson on screen. Lawrence Fishburne being in there is another reason to go see it. In my book, is it the most inspired trailer? Not really, but with the cast and the director, I'm in. I'm in for a solid action movie to pass the time. I'm not going to get on the bandwagon of saying, oh my God, it's shit. But I'm not going to get on the bandwagon of saying, oh my God, this is amazing and the best thing ever. If anything, this is a Sunday movie for me at best. And if it's on Netflix, cool, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Okay. If that is the end of that, we'll go straight into the topics. And the first topic is Zack Snyder's Justice League. What did you... I've not seen this film, so I can't really talk about it. So I'll let you display your thoughts on it.
I love you, Zach. I love you, Zach. Thank you, Zach. I take a bullet for you, Zach.
Okay. All right. So is that your 2 cents on it?
Well, look. Since before we were doing podcasts in 3 separate rooms, right? I've been banging the drum of Zack Snyder and banging the drum of his vision, and I'm like, I've said for years, Zack Snyder has never let me down, and I'm like, this is like a magnum opus. And man was like, oh, I never let you down. He's like, all right, well, boy, I'm gonna make sure that is a permanent record. Like, this was the 10 Commandments of comic book movies.
That's quite a big accolade.
This was like the epic. I mean, obviously, like Infinity War, Endgame will always be. They are equally 10 Commandments of that. But I'm like, the Snyder Cut is essentially what it really boils down to. Is the Snyder Cut is what happens when you're. It's what happens when you know what it is? It's Rocky 2.
Rocky 2.
It's Rocky 2. It's what happens when everybody's telling you you're shit, everybody's telling you you're a failure, everybody's dogging you, and you come out and win the title. That's what Snyder Cut is.
Okay. That's a glowing review. I'm gonna move it to Sach and say, well, Sach, what did you make of the Snyder Cut?
Okay, so Neil, check your phone for a sec. So basically, Man of Steel, I liked it. I didn't love it. But I liked it, and it's one of those films. The more I watch, the better for me it gets. Like I really do enjoy Man of Steel. Batman vs Superman. I mean, that film sucks balls. Even with the 12-hour cut of it, the extended edition, it just sucks. Sure, the longer version of it is a better movie, but is a better movie. It solves a lot of the problems I had with it. But Jesse Eisenberg is still Lex Luthor. And,
I forgot he was in those films.
Yeah, and it's just like Martha. That aside, I've always maintained that Warner Brothers don't have a plan when it comes to the DC properties, and this is true. This is very true. It's true even to this day. The original cut of Justice League, I watched it. Yeah, I enjoyed it for the wrong reasons. It's a great bad movie. It has some good bits in it, but it's not a cinematic classic by any means whatsoever. It's a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
So here Zack Snyder has a director's cut, which we never saw see the light of day, which I banged on saying it would never happen. And then it actually did. I was expecting, okay, this will just go away and it'll be a piece of shit. Neil. I was fucking wrong. I was fucking wrong. I sat down, I watched 4 hours of this thing. This is film of the year. This is comic book movie of the decade. This is, I don't know about that, but it's up there. It is up there. And you know about the whole thing about Warner Brothers not having a plan? Well, although I am still right to that, Zack Snyder had a plan. Just like Neil said on the podcast. Zack Snyder knew what he was doing with those characters. He knows those characters. He should be leading up. He should be the top guy at WB, shepherding the ship. And yeah, the Snyder Cut is a film that we'd never get again. And in terms of those characters, in terms of a Justice League film, it is the definitive Justice League film. It is amazing. Everyone gets their chance to shine. The characters are the actual characters. Batman has a plan, which is a staple in like fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like fucking, I get why Ray Fisher is pissed. I get why he's pissed, because they fucking shafted him on that movie. He went from having a main hardcore role to being a bit player. You know what I mean? Like, hands down, they just erased him. It's, you know, and Henry Cavill, no CGI mustache. He's there in full form, and Superman is great in this. And Steppenwolf, they did him chef's kiss to both him and Darkseid. Okay, seriously. And then the thing they teased at the end, Zack Snyder showed me that Zack Snyder had a plan. This was gonna, you know what I mean? Stay tuned to DC. We're gonna shit on Marvel. That's what they said. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen. But if I was at Warner Brothers right now, if I was in charge of that shit, I would greenlight Man of Steel 2, Ben Affleck's the Batman, and roadmap the next couple of movies for that Justice League movie that we were promised. You know what I mean? That we were teased, because that was infinitely better than anything even Marvel had put out. You know what I mean? Like that dynamic with those characters and the way that they were. It's like, how did shit get to that? I need to see that. I need to know. I want more. I genuinely want more. Mm-hmm. I don't have to see BVS to enjoy this movie, you know, because it does a quick recap. Doomsday I could pretend that Doomsday happened the way I wanted it to happen originally, and carry on that way if I really wanted to just erase BVS, you know. But like, it's a fantastic movie. It's great, and I was wrong. I was completely wrong about it, and I think Zack Snyder deserves all the praise he gets, and I think all the Snyder fans that wanted this, you got yours. Bravo, guys, for making it happen. We'll never get a director's cut like that again, I don't think, because it was a wonderful time deal, and it was totally worth it. Whether you liked the previous incarnations or not, it's a damn good movie.
Okay, those are two glowing reviews. I've not seen either Justice League films, so I'm kind of in the dark here, and I'm a little bit annoyed that Zack Snyder didn't adjust the ratio for regular TVs, because not one of us has an IMAX screen, and so that's the only thing I'm annoyed about. It's a small piffle, but framing is important. Just saying.
Well, sorry, I was gonna say. Well, I'm waiting for my pre-ordered Steelbook Blu-ray to arrive.
That's the one I did. You can't see what I've put, the graphic I put up, but that's the graphic I put up. This is the Steelbook of it.
When that baby arrives, that's 4 hours. Take.
Yeah.
I have spent 16 hours.
16 hours?
Watching that film.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's, to be honest, that's, if you like a film, yeah, that's the kind of, you watch it over and over again, and that's
And it was like 15 hours in like 3 days.
That's a tough call, man. That's a, well, I mean, the fact that you enjoyed the film is yeah, that's, I think the fact that Ridley Scott did this with Blade Runner. This is the way he feels that it should be, and yeah, he had that, and Zack Snyder's had his chance to do that as well. I think Ridley Scott's done it on 2 occasions. He did it with Kingdom of Heaven as well. That the director's cut and the theater's cut are 2 different worlds, and from what I'm hearing about the Justice League, that it gives you more of the characters, and so therefore you have more of a you know what more they're about in that universe. So, I mean, as you all know, that Warner Brothers is under what control is it now? Discovery, yeah. And so, I mean, he's already started already. So, Denise Villeneuve, your film's coming out the cinema. So, these guys care. So, you never know. Zack Snyder might get into talks with these guys, and he might be putting up that universe again. Because, to be honest, now there's some coherency to it. I think they should just go with it. That stop making all of these. Oh, there's a Joker here, and then there's a Joker over here. Oh, there's also this Joker and that Joker. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. There's more characters in the DC repertoire than the Joker. Come on. Anyway, yeah, I think if talks open again with Zack, I think his vision is the way to take it now, because it's getting ridiculous. So go with a vision as opposed to no vision. Stop throwing things at the wall, making it stick. And again, now that Discovery has it, I think there'll be more of an opportunity to do that. So yeah, I'm going to move this on because I've got a bit of work to do after the podcast, so I'm going to move things on. Okay, so the next topic is J.J. Abrams might be keeping in the DC realm, producing a new Superman film. I don't know what Superman film that may be. I don't know if that's still a thing now that the hands have changed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind J.J. Abrams. He's kind of a hit and miss. He's good for the beginnings of things, and in some cases, and I'm not sure he should touch Superman. To be honest, I don't think many people should touch Superman. Maybe from what I hear, the Lois and Clark show is doing really well, so maybe those guys. But no one's been able to get this right for a while. Despite what I feel about Man of Steel, at least it was coherent. And so, yeah, I don't know where this is going now. So, what do you guys think of this?
Neil?
Okay. So I'm going to break down everything that I know. I'm going to try and keep it as quick as I can. Mm-hmm. So this film, there is a lot of talk and rumors circulating, but what it is apparently going to be is it's going to be a film about the Black Superman. Right? Yeah. Now, the thing is, there is in DC Comics, there is a Black Superman, right? I think his name is, it's Calvin Ellis, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it's Calvin. Yeah, it's Calvin Ellis.
Calvin Ellis, right? He is.
But he's not a Black Superman. He's a Black Kryptonian.
Well, yeah, he's a Black Kryptonian.
Kind of like Steel as well. You know?
But in his verse, no, Steel's not Kryptonian. Yeah. Regular guy.
Oh yeah,
but in his universe, because he's not on Earth 1, in his Earth, he is the Kryptonian who comes to Earth. He is the Superman, right? Now, for me, this is arguably one of the worst ideas that DC Comics, that Warner Brothers could ever throw at the wall and hope it sticks. Genuinely one of the worst, because for two main reasons. One, because everybody who thinks of Superman thinks of Clark Kent. Straight up, straight down, that's it. They think Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El, Smallville, that's what they think, right? And them saying, okay, well, we're going to do the Calvin Ellis version. That's what we're going to throw out you. I'm like, okay, well, if you wanted to make a black superhero character, your gallery is extensive. You have three non-white human Green Lanterns that you can choose from. Mm-hmm. You've got Black Lightning. Okay, yes, he has his own TV show, but you've got Black Lightning. You have
Cyborg.
Titan. You've got Icon. You've got the amount of people that they could have chosen, right? But you chose your black Superman as the character, as that's what you're going. That's your rival to Black Panther, right? You could have remade. You could have made a remake of Steel and done it right, done it correctly, right? Because that shit you did with Shaq, appalling. Appalling, right? That also ties into, when everybody's like, Warner Brothers doesn't have a plan. It's like, when you think about it, Warner Brothers' history of black superheroes can be summed up in 2 sentences. Shaquille O'Neal in Steel and Halle Berry in Catwoman. Right? You're doing this old Superman thing. It's pandering at best. Mm-hmm. And it is a failure waiting to happen. There are so many people who know who John Stewart is. Right? You could have made a movie about him. You're literally planning to make a Green Lantern Corps movie. You could have chose John Stewart to be your star of that movie. Yep, okay, Hal Jordan can be in it, Guy Gardner can be in it, Kyle Reiner can be in it, right? Shabazz can be in it. You could have every human Green Lantern in it. But you could have made John Stewart your hero. No. Too much hard work. We'll just choose this Earth 2 character. People who are general public, not avid comic book fans, don't know what, that there's Earth 1, Earth 2. They're not interested in that. That's not what draws them in. Mm-hmm. They're like, I want to see a superhero film. Either about a superhero I know.
Neil, I know you're on the flow, but they're actually doing it as... It's Clark Kent they're doing it as. Been confirmed in Variety. Clark Kent will be black.
Yeah. I
yeah, they're not doing Calvin Ellis. They're not doing the guy that's the president.
That's going to be clipped as well.
I'm sorry, Brad. I needed a moment to myself.
Yeah. Trust me, I felt the same way. As why are you doing this? Why? Why? Just why?
You know what? I tried to be respectful. I know sometimes I can be disrespectful. I tried to be respectful.
Wait a second. Was this generally the first time you've heard this?
For the life of me, I knew that they had hired a black writer, and I knew that they were looking for a black director, and I knew that they wanted a black Superman. I just genuinely, heart and soul, assumed, considering there already is a black Superman, that they would just pluck it out and do it.
You know, when they announced it was Clark Kent, they released the news of Variety on Henry Cavill's birthday.
Yeah. I mean, that's the old regime of Warner Brothers. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's still time. There's still time.
Yeah, but yeah, I felt the same way as you, man. It's like you've established for over nearly 100 years that Superman is a particular race from Krypton. That, as far as I'm concerned, that's Superman. If make another character, yeah, as you said, what's the other character's name?
Calvin Ellis.
Yeah, have another character that's also from Krypton. Don't change the bloody race of the original Superman. Just leave it alone.
So what I'm to understand, right, is that DC Comics, these detective comics, DC Comics, in their infinite wisdom, decided to make a black version of Superman twice on two separate occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Both times, it was a different person who wasn't Clark Kent, whose name wasn't Clark Kent. He was a totally different person. Own history, own backstory. One's Kryptonian, one's a regular human, but the whole thing was different. And Warner Brothers, who literally can be like, to people who are watching this on YouTube, you see all of these films and books behind me. Warner Brothers can literally go and just pluck every single story involving a black Superman or black Superman type character. And they decided Clark Kent's our man. We'll just make him black. Fuck you, Warner Brothers. Fuck.
I hear your pain, but just to keep on track, this was about J.J. Abrams. If he was to, what would you think if he kept Henry Cavill? Do you think he would continue, or do you?
Yeah,
think
it'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe it would be brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't normally have a problem with JJ, but I mean, he's hit two bumps for me. One is the last Star Wars film, and the other is the name of a film I can't remember. But I think it was Star Trek. What was the second one? Into Darkness. And beside that, he'll always be the man that kind of re-resurrected the Mission Impossible for me. So I can't hate him. In those I think we'd see very good action in terms of, because he's good with action. So I'll give him that, and so I think we'd see some very good sequences with Henry Cavill as Superman, and that's one of the things that I liked about Man of Steel was the fight in between the Kryptonians and Superman.
Smallville.
Yeah. Was it Ursa and Non?
No, Theora.
Theora. Yeah. What happened to Ursa, by the way? Anyway,
different baddie.
Fair enough. I mean,
Zod is always rolling with a different chick.
So yeah, I think it would be pretty good. Despite the news that was the Black Superman, and I have a feeling that may change direction now, just because what's happened in the past weeks, so or days even, and so I have a striking feeling that John Peters had something to do with that. I just believe it. Everything bad about Superman, John Peters has been involved in. So I don't think for 1 minute I think for every minute that he is responsible. He's one of the culprits. I've got this idea. Keep Kal-El the character, but make him black. And I can see in the boardroom. Oh yes, that's another brilliant idea by John Peters. And also his father is really a spider, and so that's the level of genius that we're dealing with here. And so anyway, I don't want to dwell on this too much, so I'm going to move on. There'll be more to say about Superman in the coming days and weeks. Okay, so Mortal Kombat. It looks like there is going to be a sequel, or they're going to try and make one. I don't know how that's going to go, but I never saw this most recent Mortal Kombat film, and from what I hear, it's a good thing I didn't. So I was.
Who made the film again? What film company?
Warner Brothers. Again, it went. This film went day and day cinema and streaming. So I mean, it's in the ether now. It's kind of forgotten. No one's talked about Mortal Kombat in a couple of weeks now. So if they can get a film together, if this new regime, more power to them. Just make it good. Which is, I mean, no one wants to make their film bad. But there's a lot of promise from Mortal Kombat, and the martial arts were on point. The visual effects were on point. Yeah, the story's on point. From what I hear from people, none of these things are on point. So, so I don't know what cocaine they're sniffing or what new ayahuasca they're drinking, but it's bad juju.
All right. Let's not talk about the current movie. Okay, let's just talk on who we'd cast as Johnny Cage. You know, because that franchise needs a plus at least. Because I feel like, have we spoken about it at all? Have we spoken about our thoughts now? No, we haven't. Okay, fuck it, go nuts.
We've spoken privately,
right,
but not on a podcast.
Okay, right. All right, I will speak about it. All right, fair enough. Okay, the opening 10 minutes were amazing.
I mean, it's on YouTube, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, so check it out. It's amazing. The opening 10 minutes were amazing. Any scene with Sub-Zero and Kano were on point, were gold. Shame about the rest of the movie, really. The fight scenes were shit. Like dog shit. They were trash. And sure, you've got some fatalities straight out the game, but that doesn't disguise shitty choreography with actors that can't fight. Just saying, you know, they had a handful of martial artists. The fight choreography was either shit or was cut to shit by really crap and choppy editing. Aside from, like I said, the opening 10 minutes were fantastic. It was horrible. And if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, who the hell is Cole Young? I own Mortal Kombat 11. There ain't no Cole Young in any 11 entries into the series of Mortal Kombat. And now I know they said we wanted a new guy to show you the world of Mortal Kombat. Okay, well, here's the thing. You pick a white guy called Cole, and he's an MMA fighter. He's the most boringest character you have here. And fair enough, we are in a Me Too world and diversity and all of that. You don't get more diversity than Mortal Kombat. Why wasn't Liu Kang, Protector of the Earthrealm, fucking the lead in this one with Johnny Cage as his sidekick? It was a trash movie. And then I think the biggest crime to humanity in this movie for me was what they did to Prince Goro. They just made him like some next guy that gets beaten up by a guy that could barely fight. And what a waste of that. What a waste. And it was a trash movie. It was a trash. As a Mortal Kombat fan, as a fighting movie fan, it was trash. But that's my thoughts on that movie. I'd actually prefer the 95 movie because at least it stuck to what was the true essence of the characters and is actually genuinely entertaining. Thoughts for who I'd cast as Johnny Cage? I'd put star power in. Get Ryan Reynolds, he'd be perfect. Get Chris Pratt, he'd be great too. Get you know what? Someone said James Marsden would be a good choice, and you know what? Fuck yeah! You know why? About time James Marsden came out of his element. If that actor that was a good friend of his says James Marsden could do it, I want to see that audition. I want to see him blow my socks off. I'm not against it, but you know, hey, why not? Neil, thoughts?
The movie wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Admittedly, like I won't lie, I went in with a biased opinion because for me, the original Mortal Kombat movie, the 95, 96 joint, is the very best, absolute, hands up, hands down, very best video game to movie adaptation. Plain and simple. There is nothing an argument might be able to be made for Sonic or for Detective Pikachu, or you know, there are a lot of great movies that, well, there's not. There's a lot of movies that are based on video games. Some are better than others. But Mortal Kombat, if you played Mortal Kombat 1 and you know the story of Mortal Kombat 1, the film Mortal Kombat is the movie of that game. The only characters, there is one character who's not in that game, who's in the film. Right? And that is Katana, because she doesn't pop up until Mortal Kombat 2. But every other character that you're like, that's a Mortal Kombat character. If they're in the first film, if they're in the first game, they're in the first film, right? They even held it, you know, with Reptile being a secret character, so he only secretly pops up as one. They did it, held it to a T. With this one, they did not do well. They did not do well at all. Now, that's my opinion. They could have done worse, but they could have done a hell of a lot better. That said, casting, it's really weird because for personality and mannerisms, there is only one person who I'm like, yeah, that would be my Johnny Cage. 100% yes. Mike Mizan. And for those who have no idea who I'm talking about, The Miz from WWE. He is Johnny Cage.
Yeah, he is.
He is actually.
He is Johnny Cage. He has done like they made the movie The Marine with John Cena, and then I think they got to Marine 3.
I think it's 4
and they
now.
put The Miz in, and they've made like 4 sequels with The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he's an actor who's like a B-list actor who thinks he's an A-list actor. His whole stick in WWE is he's the A-list actor.
Mm-hmm.
He is not.
Mm-hmm.
But he's perfect. You never have a more suited person. The only issue is his martial arts skills are not going to be on par with Johnny Cage's martial arts skills. Mm-hmm. But personality-wise, him, you couldn't find a better person.
Yeah, that's The Miz is a really good choice. I didn't even think going that way.
Me too. Me too.
But yeah, that's great. Yeah, I didn't really have an opinion on who to cast in there. I mean, my only casting option would be Jean-Claude Van Damme, but one, he's too old. No, he's not actually. If for this incarnation of Johnny Cage he is, but I mean, he is Johnny Cage. So if it was back in 91, 94, 93 and 94 when the film came out, 95 even, Johnny Cage would be Jean-Claude, number one choice for that for the character. And as for hopes for sequels, good luck, Warner Brothers. Onto another Warner Brothers property.
You're on fire today.
Who, me?
No, Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah, they really are. Just so happens, everything that we're talking about is Warner Brothers properties. Kong vs. Skull Island sequel. I didn't see, this is a film that I didn't see either. So I don't know how it was received. I don't know if it did well. I didn't know. What is the 411 on a sequel to this film?
I don't think
you don't think it should?
No, I think these 3 Godzilla films, even though like there's Godzilla and then King of Monsters is like a soft reboot, and then King of Monsters, like Godzilla Kong is it's a sequel to the soft reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all of that, I'm like, you've said everything you need to say. You had, all right, here's Godzilla and he exists, and you did the whole Gareth Edwards first film where you don't really get to see Godzilla until like way into the film, and then you finally do see him and everything that happens, and then it's like he's a monster but he's here to protect us. Okay, cool, done.
Mm-hmm.
Then they made Godzilla King of Monsters. Now I'm saying this, but I actually like all 3 of those films.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine fan. Like, I am a lover of the Godzilla movies.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking all the way back from the black and white original all the way up until like
98
Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh,
like,
right.
Yeah, like, I mean, that Godzilla movie, the Matthew Broderick one,
mm-hmm.
it's a guilty pleasure. It's a trash movie,
mm-hmm.
in as much as, to me,
mm-hmm.
personally, watching it, it's a trash Godzilla movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Godzilla movie, it's a monster movie.
Yeah. That happens to have Godzilla in it.
Yeah. Right? But, like, I'm like, you said everything you needed to say with those 3 films. There is, like... And the thing is, because essentially Godzilla versus Kong was the last thing that needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The best way I can look at it, because with the Johnny Cage and the Miz thing, we talk about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what it is: the Godzilla movie is like whatever. It's like Raw, SmackDown, just a wrestling event.
Mm-hmm.
King of Monsters was the Royal Rumble, and Godzilla won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
To go on to WrestleMania to fight Kong. And he did.
Okay.
The movie's done now. The story is done.
Right.
Leave it right there.
Right. Yeah, you know they're not going to do that, right? I mean, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, when I saw the first reboot of the Godzilla franchise,
yeah,
it was okay. As I'm sure Sacha will agree with me, Bryan Cranston was the best thing about it. I wasn't compelled to watch anything other after that. I was okay, all right. As far as I'm concerned, Cloverfield's quite a gold standard for me. It did something new, and we introduced a new monster, or a new monster to the mythos of monster movies, and I can't. Godzilla didn't do that for me. Being one of the original monster movies, this has to be on par with Cloverfield, or it's nah. As far as I'm concerned, for the Western, on the Western side, Cloverfield is the gold standard of a monster movie. Was that Matt Reeves? Yeah, it was Matt Reeves.
Yeah,
and yeah, I just, even this Kong one that I liked the trailer, and that was it. I was not compelled to watch it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen, or what I'm going to see. I'm going to see a bit of scale, hopefully, and a bit of a fight. It's a film that I would have liked to have seen properly if there's no pandemic and it just came out of the cinema and said, "Hey guys, you want to go watch this for a laugh?" Like it's Saturday evening. just go, let's go to watch this, and that's the kind of film I think it is, a popcorn movie. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but for me, I wasn't compelled to watch anything other than after King Kong, anything after the first reboot of the Godzilla. Thanks. Yeah. What do you think, Zach? Would you make of a sequel to this?
Here's the thing. I'm always up for a monster movie. The thing is, monster movie out of this current franchise, here's the thing. Out of all of them, I really enjoyed Kong Skull Island. The tone of that movie suited it. It was fun. It took me back to the 90s of fun action popcorn movies. Didn't put my brain on rest. Let's have a good time. With the Godzilla movies, they took themselves far too seriously. They're a bit nonsensical, and you know what I mean. If you're gonna go for nonsensical, make it a good time. Have fun with it. You know what I mean. Godzilla versus Kong sat in the same boat as the Godzilla movies. It took itself far too seriously. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't give a shit. But with Skull Island, I did, because it was a fun ride. You know what I mean? Like, you had a great cast, you had a great script. Well, you had a hilarious script because it didn't take itself too seriously. There was a good lot of killing going on in that movie. People just got wiped out left, right, and center. It was a fun ride with, and that's kind of what I'd want from these sequels. Make it a fun movie. You know what I mean? Just whoever's doing it, just, you know what I mean? Like, get someone that can write a fun popcorn movie. Don't make it a serious opus. Like, no one wants that from these fucking movies, man. Like, seriously, like, how hard is that? You know? I'm always open to them. I'll always watch them. Whether I like them or not, that's another thing. But do you know what I mean? I'm not invested in this universe. You know, if they make it like Kong Skull Island, cool, knock it out the park, lead that way. It'll be amazing. One thing I did like about Godzilla vs. Kong was the addition of the little girl that could sign language to Kong. That was cool. That was a really cool addition, I felt. But outside of that, they didn't do a lot with it. You know,
did he end up eating her like in The Simpsons?
No, but that would have been great. No, you know what? In Kong Skull Island, that's the one thing they miss, because Kong, he saves Brie Larson for no reason whatsoever, other than she's a girl, and then he has a full-on fight with like
Brie Larson's in this.
No, in Skull Island.
Oh right, she's in. Okay, I didn't know she was in.
Yeah, she's in Skull Island. So's Tom Hiddleston.
I've not seen the film, so
okay. Tom Hiddleston's in there.
That cast is that cast is amazing.
And Samuel L. Jackson,
Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, John C. Reilly, John Goodman.
Wow, that is a good cast.
It's a good cast. And you know what? John C. Reilly was the standout for that film, man. His character was joke. His character was great. If you watch the trailer and you see it, he'll get you in the trailer, and he'll definitely get you in the movie, man. Trust me, he was fantastic. He owned that movie. But with what you call when King Kong's fighting Godzilla, was it not Godzilla? One of these creatures or whatever in Kong Skull Island. Oh yeah, the skulls. What they call skull crunchers? What?
Crawlers.
What?
Skull crawlers.
Skull crawlers.
Yeah, when he's fighting the skull crawler, he's got Brie Larson in his hand as he's punching, but obviously he's like trying to protect her. Mate, at the end of that, they just should have killed her off there, and I would have guaranteed the whole audience would have laughed. They would have laughed, because like there's no way she would have survived that. No way.
Okay, well, I mean, having not seen the film, that's out of context for me. But
but that's kind of what your Simpsons joke remind me of. Like, hang on, it's dead. But like, yeah, that's what I wanted from Kong Skull Island. The only missed opportunity in Kong Skull Island that would have been hilarious. But you know, maybe I'm just a warped guy, man. But like, I would have found it funny.
Oh no, I would have found that hilarious. I would have fallen out of my seat if I was in the cinema when that happened. I don't know. There's a comedic thing to being eaten by something that's larger than you. Anyway, I see all memes coming in my way now. But okay, on to the next story. Topic, whatever. Andrew Garfield not in Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm pretty sure he's in it, and he's just deflecting.
Well, that's the thing. I watched his little interview.
Mm-hmm.
He never actually, clear as day, says the words, "I am not in the next Spider-Man movie."
Right.
He's like, "Look, I didn't get a call. I didn't do this."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's. You know, he talks about like, oh, how people always get on the internet and do X, Y, and Z. He was like, I never got a call about it. And I'm like, look, listen, right? I know people who are the masters, absolute masters of the loophole, of the technicality. And they'll be like, oh, we're talking people who will be like, oh, you know, did you sleep with that girl? No. And then they'll be like, and they'll be like, listen, the man asked me if I slept with her. He didn't ask me if I had sex with her, right? I didn't go to sleep. Right? Loopholes. And then they'll be like, they'll be like, I told you not to punch him. I didn't punch him. I kicked him in the face. Right? Loopholes. Right?
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was pulling every loophole that man had a hand on. He was deflecting like he had Captain America's shield in his back pocket. Just like, you could have easily have just said the words, "No, I am not in the next Spider-Man movie."
Yeah.
And the thing, even if he said, "No, I'm not in the next Spider-Man movie," we're like, is the next Spider-Man movie an animated movie that's coming out on Disney Plus versus the actual Tom Holland live action Spider-Man vehicle? I'm like, you talking. He was talking, but he was saying a whole lot of nothing.
Right. PR waffle. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure he will be in it. And I'm pretty sure Tobey Maguire's in this film as well. And the fact that it leads into the multiverse of madness just suggests that anyway. So I don't believe him. Satch, do you believe him?
I agree with both of you guys on what you're saying. I think we've got a Benedict Cumberbatch, Wrath of Khan situation here, where he said, "Oh no, I'm not playing Khan, but I'm actually playing Khan later on." You know, I think that's what we got here. He's playing with the audience here. We'll see what happens when the movie comes out, whether he's lying or whether he's actually telling the truth. Either way, I admire like Marvel's attempt to keep the secret hidden. You know, at this point, it's a worst kept secret, but you know, we'll see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to this next Spider-Man movie. In fact, you know what? Like, they really should be working on the one after this by now, but they're not. But they should. After Far From Home, they should be in the Spider-Man biz, period, because that movie was dope. But yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so the final topic today is Indiana Jones 5. Mads Mikkelsen is now in it, and I believe he is playing a villain. I just saw a tweet about it. So yeah, Mads Mikkelsen. I think that's a good actor, a good character actor for the job. If you're playing against Harrison Ford, then you need someone like who's the Raiders of the Lost Ark that was opposite. I can't remember. Balak. Yeah.
I got a friend who's related to him, Paul Freeman.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, one of my friends. It's his uncle.
Who are we talking about? Balak or
Yeah, Balak.
Oh, okay.
Balak.
The British. I can't remember the British actor's name, but I know he's
Paul
British.
Freeman. Paul Freeman.
Is that his name? Okay.
That's his name. Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, Mads Mikkelsen. It's despite what people may think about what the film may be or may not be. I know people have a problem with Phoebe Waller-Bridge writing it.
Why?
Is she writing it?
Yes, she is.
She is writing it.
Yeah, she is writing it.
I thought she was just in it. But even if she's not just in it, even if she is writing
No,
it.
I think I'm wrong about that. No, James Mangold's writing it. She's just in it. Or she might be doing some treatments to it. I don't know. I was thinking of James Bond. But I know she's definitely in it, and she might be doing some treatments to it. I see no problem with her. Everything that I've watched of hers is, to be honest, people who haven't watched her stuff will probably say that she's woke. She is down and dirty, man. She is not your standard female writer. She's if anyone's seen Fleabag, that show's great. I tried to get my girlfriend at the time to watch it. She says, no, I don't like her. And so I don't know why people just don't like her, or some people don't like her, but she's
genuine fan.
Yeah, she's great. I love that girl, man. More power to her. I hope she gets more writing gigs like this or films like this. She's an incredible. I think she's an incredible talent. I'm sure a lot of people don't have that sentiment, but yeah, I think that's great. And whatever Indiana Jones 5 ends up being, I know Spielberg didn't want to direct it anymore, but James Mangold is, I think, a secret gem in Hollywood. If you've not seen Copland, you're missing out. You're really, really missing out. That's one of the Stallone's, one of his best films. Arguably one of his best films. And from Spielberg to him, I think it's in fairly good hands. To be honest, I don't really know what more Spielberg could bring to it, but have at it, guys. What do you make of it?
My biggest concern is that Spielberg is not doing it. But that being said, James Mangold, he's a solid choice. We'll see what happens with the film. I've got no problem with the casting. I think Mads Mikkelsen is a fantastic choice for a villain. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is that her name? Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Yeah, I like her in what I've seen her in. So yeah, she'll be all right. But yeah, we'll love to see what they churn out with Indy. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, so we'll see what they do with this 5th installment. So yeah.
What do you make of this, Neil?
I'm disinterested in a 5th Indiana Jones film, but everything about the film, everything I hear about the film, I'm just like, no, good choice, solid choice. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, like, for people who don't like her, I genuinely want to know why. Because if it's just like, oh, the personality rubs you a certain way, then I'm like,
I think most people on the internet are like rubbing her off the wrong way because she is a female writer and because of the way everything is at the moment. But like Joe said, if you have seen what she's written on Fleabag, she's proven she's a damn good writer. She's not really she's not just anybody that just got the job because she's someone that actually has talent. So for them to go with her,
so she is. Yeah, Fleabag is brilliant, and hell, she's brilliant in Solo.
I still have to see that.
Droid, and she's brilliant, right? And I'm just like, I've never come across anything of hers that I've been like, no, that's trash or whack or terrible or no. Everything I've come across of hers, I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I've visited other channels that has said that, oh no, the work brigade has come. And if you, I won't mention what the channels are, but
Yeah.
I'm astounded that it's all these channels do, all these specific channels. I don't know if they're doing it because that's what their viewers want to see, but they often do that. They often say, "Oh no, the work brigade's here. This is going to be shit because of A, B, and C." And I'm really tired of it because it's not doing anyone any favors. If you're not interested in it, don't talk about it.
Yeah, because you know what they do with that? Like, I'm sorry to interrupt. You know what the joke? They say like, oh, you know, like if people are upset because she's a female writer and because they're like, oh, she's woke. I'm like, listen, Jane Goldman has put your ass in a cinema screen more times than you would care to remember. Right?
Right.
So people losing it, like, I don't know who these channels are because, like, yeah, I've mentioned them. Or like people being like, oh, she's a woman, she's woke. All right, listen, Jane Goldman put your ass in a seat many a times. Phoebe Waller will easily emulate, if not surpass that. That's like, she is a brilliant. She's a talent that needs to be cultivated and just given free reign on whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of the channels are more. I think it's more about the whole Lucasfilm divide situation more than that kind of thing, and they're probably not familiar with her work. But obviously,
don't talk about her then. If you don't, that's my only issue with. I don't give a shit what they do or what they say. Don't talk about someone you haven't seen their work. So why are you trashing her before she's even written or? But anyway, I'm jumping the shot now. Anyway, Mads Mikkelsen is in Indy as a villain. I think that's perfect. As far as I'm concerned, if this indie film ends up being half decent, it's a win. So that's the end of that, and that's the end of the show. Guys, do you have anything to plug? Anything? Go.
Creative Control.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Yeah, go and watch Creative Control on YouTube, or you can listen to it on all your top, podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast from is there. Go listen or go watch, or in fact, do both.
Yeah, subscribe as well.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
That's how to say it, right?
to create. You'll find it on YouTube. Is Ken still Ken Talks Film on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah, he needs to change that to Creative Control. Or actually, he can do what he wants. Actually, but he needs to have it uniformed, which he has. He's starting to do now. Actually, anyway, so that's good. Good. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. You can also do it to this channel as well if you want to. I don't plug my. I don't like doing it. I think people should
like, share, and subscribe.
No, people should make.
Zedos.
No, don't pander. I don't want to pander. It's not pandering. It's advertising. But
advertising, I'm giving them a damn order. This ain't a democracy. This is a dictatorship.
On YouTube it kind of is. This is what was I going to say? 136 episode 136, I believe. Yeah. So we're getting there in numbers. So thank you guys for whoever's listening. Thank you. I hope you continue to listen. We talk about films. On that note, this has been the Zedos Game Podcast, and we are out.
Go on, do it. Come on.
I am the man that killed Jamie Lannister.